Khaled, thank you very much indeed for that one, Khaled. Showing, of course, that this property boom, not just Dubai at the moment, but pretty much across the whole of the Emirates. Now, if you love your property shows, you may have seen on Bravo $1 Million Listing, New York, Los Angeles, and others. Well, with me now is the executive producer of Dubai's very own version. Please welcome Bendari. Ben, really appreciate your time. This, as I said earlier, time is everything at the moment, with what's going on in the market. But can't thank you enough for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on season 1, $1 Million Listing. I mean, in terms of perfect fit, $1 Million Listing and all the success it's seen over in the United States, and then of course Dubai, were they meant to be?
I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, right? So I started my career back in 2002, and I was a big fan of the show, and so I'm like, why is the show not here? And then when it did come to the UAE and they started auditioning, I'm like, this is the best and the most perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've got the world's tallest towers, we've got man-made islands, so why not showcase this beautiful country to the world?
Was it ever such, to ask a question? I mean, you mentioned there that you've got so much experience here as well since the early 2000s. You've seen the ups, you've seen the downs, You've seen the market, the fluctuations in the market as well. It just seems to me that at the moment, the last couple of years, things have been supercharged when it comes to real estate. I mean, has that always been the case, or has it been a little bit of a slow burner?
So I started my career in 2002 when there was not one ready freehold property in the market. So yes, I've seen it all. Today, the market is on fire. We've never seen it in the history of Dubai real estate freehold market. I mean, from 2002 up until 2008, we had a good run. It was a bit of an unregulated market, but now the government has put in initiatives where they've really regulated it. They've put escrow accounts into play. There's safety, there's security when investors and end users are investing within the country. So I think there's more confidence, and there's a lot of foreign direct investment pouring into the country from all over the world.
Yeah.
So Ben, going back to the show, I'm really interested to know, how do you decide which properties and which agents make it onto the show? So,
good question. So when they announced $1 Million Listing, there was a casting call. Mm-hmm. So there was a casting director who flew in from Lebanon, and there was an auditioning process. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine, at that time, I think the year was 2021. It was about 3 years back. And I think 9,000 agents were in the market at that time. Now it's 20,000 plus, it's doubled.
Yeah.
But they had Image Nation, the production company, had 3,000 plus people who were auditioning for the show. I mean, it's a household name. It's in 100 plus countries globally, the New York and the Los Angeles version. So, and it was the pioneer of all real estate shows. There's a lot which have come out after $1 Million Listing, but it's the original. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of people that turned up, and there was an audition process. There was a 4-stage process where first, and at that time, remember, it was post-COVID, so COVID was just really tapering out. Mm-hmm. So the interviews were done by Zoom, and then they asked for a property walkthrough. So you had to basically walk through a property with a client, or just walk through the property and describe it. And then there was a third audition, and it went from literally 3,000 to about 100, and then 30, and then there was a top 10, and then they finalized with the 5 cast members who were on season 1.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Ben, when it comes to buying here, have you seen shifts in buyers' priorities? What sort of amenities are people wanting and needing when they come to buying a luxury property?
Yeah, so in the luxury segment, each buyer is very particular with what they want, right? So I have a current client right now who has like 17 supercars. So he's like, I need a property which has a basement parking and where I can put my supercars, and every morning I want to go down and just take a look at them.
I have the same problem.
Right?
Your supercars that day.
Brilliant.
Let's talk about the hustle if we can, because it's always hustling, and none more so than the real estate market at the moment. And that's an element of what your show shows, isn't it? You know, the hustle that you need
Yes.
in order to get ahead. You mentioned there the boom and the number of brokers, agents in town as well. What's the hustle like? What's the day-to-day look like for a real estate broker looking to make it in Dubai at the moment?
Yeah, so you know, people watch the show and they think it's very simple, it's very easy because they're just seeing the transactions, right? But there's a lot of work that goes into into real estate. There's so many moving parts. There's dealing with the buyers, the sellers, the external agents. So it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work.
As said, congratulations on season #1. Obviously, everyone waited with bated breath for forthcoming projects and season 2s and more as well. But surely you've got to change the name. $1 Million doesn't cut it here anymore, does it?
$1 billion. I hear that a lot.
Definitely. Well, Ben, thank you so much for giving us some insight there into what is going on behind the scenes in $1 Million Listing Dubai, and also giving us some insight into the property market in Dubai. You're going to be staying with us throughout the show, so stay right there. But next up, we are going to be finding out about Dubai's best kept secret in the sky, and also find out who tonight's performer is. Stay tuned.